It's time for the second musical selection. This song was written by my good friend Sean Galloway, who I know from the time that I lived in Nashville in the 90s. And this song has been out for a little while, and I want to just thank him and give him a shout out. It's Sean, S-H-A-W-N, Galloway, G-A-L-L-A-W-A-Y. The song is called I Choose Love. Thought it was really appropriate for today's service. And it goes something like this. So Sean Galloway, I'll see if I can put the link below. This song really needs to be out there. I'm so grateful he's let me play it. I can see laughter or I can see tears. I see a choice, love or fear. What do you choose? I can see peace or I can see wars. I can see sunshine or I can see a storm. What do you choose? Now I choose to love with freedom fire from my heart where the light keeps shining. I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength that we can rise above. I choose love. I choose love. I can see sharing or I can see greed. I can see caring or poverty. What do you choose? I can see gardens or I can see flaws. I can see life or death coming on strong. What do you choose? Now I choose to love with freedom fire from my heart where the light keeps shining. I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength we can rise above. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. I choose to love with freedom fire from my heart where the light keeps shining. I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength that we can rise above. I choose love. 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 I Choose Love by Sean Galloway. Check it out. Music can heal the world. Music has healed the world. And we need more healing songs. Huh. It's been kind of a busy time for everybody, hasn't it? And it's the busiest times that the need for being still and tapping into the light is really great. So thank you for taking the time to be with Church of Spirituality whenever you're watching this. I just want to go back to some of the readings. The sermon, Darkness Launches Us into Light. It's time to delve into that. every week I pretty much just ask Spirit, what is it this week? And I was being guided to bring the idea and the reality of the experience of the greatest darkness being a call to light. I've spoken before of the law of contrast, which I call it the law of contrast. When we have a circumstance that is so not what we want to have, that being immersed in that feeling of this isn't what I want, this isn't what I want, this is bad, this is just awful, that has power. To be in that kind of darkness has an incredible amount of potential. And that potential and that desire to be out of the dark place gives us the necessary energy to catapult us out of that dark place and to put us into a place of light. And oftentimes we have to work very hard at it. We don't always have to work very hard at it. We can just make that choice. And I believe in instantaneous healing, and I believe in instantaneous miracles. My experience has been very often, more often than not, we have to work at it. If we look at our own lives, and I've mentioned that Garth Brooks, speaking of Nashville, has a song called Unanswered Prayers, and there are other songs like this too, that speak about the things that we wanted to happen that didn't happen. Well, we can look at, that didn't happen, that ended up being the right, leading you to the right place. So when we go through hard times, in the Garth Brooks song, it was, I believe the lyrics were about him having bumped into an old high school sweetheart and recognizing that if it had worked out that he had married her, he wouldn't be in the place that he ended up, which is in, great amount of success and really, greater love and just better circumstances. So we're reminded that there's a function to the darkness. There's a function to the things that are difficult. And if we just stay in the energy of this is hard, this is hard, this is hard, and like I spoke of gratitude on Thanksgiving, if we just stay with the mundane and like thinking about the things that we're just in, and we don't pay attention to the small, maybe, seemingly small things sometimes to be grateful for, we lose sight of God. We lose sight of the light. We live in times where we are being shown some really dark stuff. I mean, 50 years ago, if this really dark stuff, well, there were a lot fewer people 50 years ago. If this really dark stuff was happening, in the societies and generations past would have been horrified, absolutely. And it's not that we're not horrified, but it wouldn't have been able to stand. For example, the way that people in positions of leadership are just aggrandizing violence and making, a display and putting on a pedestal, being bullies, being terrible, terrible people. The call for the light to come storming in has never been brighter. And what I mean is the call for us to come together as the light beings that we are, with the awareness that our souls have. We must peacefully come together and counter this darkness with active light. Our very existence as a human species depends on it. So I'm not saying this to bring you down or to make you feel guilty or to put the pressure on. That's not it. We already have it within us. Because the most powerful thing that Jesus Christ of Nazareth taught us, which is not highlighted. You really have to get into the, the Essene Gospels and the Gnostic Gospels and the Gospel of St. Thomas to really delve into it. The kingdom of heaven is within each and every one of us. And we are not accessing it in general. We're not accessing it because we're not being quiet. And I'm saying we, the collective we. We're not accessing the kingdom of heaven, the God within us, when we're not being still. It's a practice. And it's a gift to oneself. It's a loving practice. It's a service to the world that we live in. When we experience darkness launching us into light, we can think of, I actually think back to the other day. I was thinking of the We Are the World and the concert to combat hunger in Africa. I think it was called USA for Africa. Different times in history where artists have risen up. All through history, where the creative, beautiful light of from the God, the great creator, and we're all creators. You don't have to be, a painter or something. That energy, it was, these people collectively saw the people in Africa are suffering from hunger. We need to do something. And for all, whatever you think about all the, if you remember that time, if you were around, this huge concert being pulled together for the good of the, people of Africa. Whatever you think about that. It was an attempt from looking at the darkness of people dying of starvation in Ethiopia. It was an attempt to bring light to that situation through bringing money into that situation. Recently, in the fall, this year, we had the Global Citizens Concert, where we're, people supporting, funding to combat global climate change and how much, devastation has been wrought, and especially third world countries that are so vulnerable, to raise money for those causes, to raise money for girls' education in places where they don't get education, to look at the darkness and to say, we need to bring light there. The darkness is not supposed to be something that we stay in. Hello, can I get a witness? When we're alive, I can get a witness. We use it. Like, if we're dying of thirst in the desert, what are we seeking? We're seeking water. If we're dying of, the low vibration of the darkness, we are seeking light. Like I said several times, the Chinese proverb that says it is better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. The actual act of lighting the candle is an act of light. I love that proverb. I think it really sums it up. In this season of Advent, of the coming of the Christ light, it's so significant. Even if you're not a religious person, it's still significant because billions of people on the planet acknowledge and commemorate this season of light. There are so many, and it affects us because we are the collective, and we are light, and we are God. We are extensions of God the Most High. We're sons and daughters of the Most High, and Jesus came to teach us that. He didn't come to teach us that I'm better than you. He came to teach us that He is one with the Father as are we. And it's time for us to wake up, to turn on the lights, to dispel the darkness, to take action where action is needed. This is not a time for complacency, people. This is a time for us to do something. Because when you see bullying happening, when you see just violence and hatred being spewed, and stand by and don't do anything, when we do that, when we just go, well, I don't know what to do, we all suffer. How about if we get a collective together of light workers to do the meditation and to form a coalition where we are putting our money, giving funds to organizations that are supporting our rights and supporting the environment. The darkness is not being shown to us for us to despair. That is not what Jesus taught us. He taught us to be the light. You are the light of the world. Do not hide that light under a bushel. We need you. Each and every one of us are needed. We all have to get off this trip of, well, I don't matter, it's just little old me. I don't matter. And I don't mean to sound preachy, and I don't mean to sound like I'm trying to tell you what to do, because that's not what's going on here. This is a collective. This is a we. So I just want to go to the readings a little bit. The Psalm 139 speaks to, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? God is everywhere. The heavens, the making my bed in the depths, you are there. Rising on the wings of the dawn, you are there. On the other side of the ocean, you are there. God, surely the darkness will hide me. You know, I think in my skepticism and disbelief, but even the darkness is not dark to God. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to God. Key phrase there. Darkness is as light to God. God is light. The absence of light is a darkness. The shade comes because there's an obstruction to the light. We must remove the shade so the light can shine through. We do the forgiveness work so the light can shine through, not shaded. So shadows comes from. It's time for us to shine brightly, just like that full moon behind me over that lighthouse. Love wins. Don't forget that. Love wins. It's an important message. If you have anything to share, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com if you have any thoughts you'd like to share, or you can leave them in the comments. This is our time of gifts and thanksgiving. Speaking of giving and being bearers of light, 100% of your donation goes to, we're still in the month of November, we have a different charity every month. This is a repeat. We're sending money to all the donations, 100%, to Second Harvest Food Bank of South Louisiana, to support the hungry and homeless who have suffered from the destruction and ravages of coastal hurricanes, to donate at AnnetteDion123, PayPal AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. So that's Venmo at AnnetteDion123, PayPal AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Please make a note, this is for Church of Spirituality, for the Second Harvest Food Bank of South Louisiana. If you're not donating through Church of Spirituality, please donate. People need our help. Please donate, on your own. And thank you for your caring for others and for your generosity. And here's our prayer of thanksgiving. Dear Father, Mother God, we give thanks this day for all of the blessings you have bestowed upon us. We thank you for guiding us through the storms and bringing us safely to the other side where your unfailing love resides. Forgive us for those times we looked only to the darkness and despair and temporarily forgot to look to you and to acknowledge that you alone are the power and the truth that is guiding and giving to us at all times. Open our eyes, dear Lord, to see the good that we may have been missing. Awaken us to what we have that we can give to others to make a difference in this troubled world. Thank you for this bounty which we receive. Amen. Thank you for your generosity. Usually at this portion of church, we usually do the hymn, Pass It On. And since our theme is the light God's Light Through the Darkness. I need to find this song. I wanted to acknowledge the passing of the great songwriter Stephen Sondheim, and therefore I chose to do this song. Let me find it. So we're gonna do this one this week instead of Pass It On. We'll do that one next week. It's called Both Sides Now, so I thought it was appropriate because we're talking about both sides, the light and the dark. Joni Mitchell made this one famous. Sing along if you know it. This will be our closing hymn, and then we'll do a little reading from Ernest Holmes before we say goodnight. This is coming to you rather late today. There was a lot going on. Better late than never, right? So here we go. May His creativity and light shine within each and every one of us and all the great artists and creators. We are from the Creator. Let us remember that. Love a great melody. Our closing reading. And thank you so much for joining us. I want to mention that I'll make an attempt to go live next week, and I will post the time. And Christmas time, we do a Christmas Eve service and we do a Christmas Day service. So keep an eye out for that. Our closing reading is from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. We do this weekly. Take a deep breath. Know that God is within you and around you always, and we are co-creators with God. We are co-creating the light that heals this country and this planet. Through the long night watches, God's hand clasps ours. At the break of dawn, God's hand clasps ours. In the daytime of work and endeavor, from eternity to eternity, God's hand clasps ours. When time shall have passed, when eternity shall be strewn about like falling petals, and space and worlds shall be swallowed up in everlasting blessedness, God's hand shall clasp ours, and so it is. Thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot. Please give to Church of Spirituality through my Venmo, PayPal. We're supporting the Second Harvest Food Bank of South Louisiana. Go in peace, be peace, and pray for peace. You are a beautiful light. Please shine your light. We need it. Namaste.